We are getting ready to board the coach company bus to head down to play the Salle Academy in Providence, Rhode Island. 12 o'clock game. Asked the boys to get here at 8:30. I think they're just we'll do a quick head count and depart at 8:45.
We get used to it. A lot of us do other sports, and you got to get up early for that. So we're all together on it, and just gotta get up and go. A lot of us sleep. Some of us talk, listen to music, and then as we get closer to LaSalle, probably about 20, 30 minutes out, we'll start focusing. Not really. I had a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich this morning. I always have a bacon, egg, and cheese before a game. That's really about it.
You know, when we have games when there's school days and then games, they crash pretty hard, you know, and you could get a look at the green pickles over there. We had some parent donations enable us to be able to travel to some of these longer road trips on the coach buses, which it's a lot easier on the legs and the body. It's, you know, the trip goes by, you know, really quickly. But as far as what they do, electronics, I mean, they have, whether it's iPads, iPhones, you know, they're keeping themselves busy. We might pop a movie in on the way back, maybe on the way. They might have some requests for the way there. I just have to approve it. So we got some late comers right getting there early enough, but we should be rolling in around 10:30, which is an hour and a half before. I'll tell them once we get on the bus that this is a business trip. You know, we're going down there to play. You know, we'll have some fun afterwards. But, you know, start mentally preparing what you need to do. You know, it starts now. So right away once they get on the bus.
But when we got there, everyone got off, got their stuff on, you know, started tossing around, just kind of getting the jitters out, and you know, everyone seemed pretty enthusiastic and excited and ready to go for it. But I think that was a little bit deceiving because I don't think we came out with the right intensity or the right mindset.
You know, these days with Lax Power, everybody knows everybody scores, and I think that we were just a little bit overconfident. And anytime we go down to Rhode Island, you know, it's a tough place to play. They're a tough team. They have a weaker schedule in Rhode Island, so they're a lot like us. Their out-of-state games to them are huge, and it's their playoffs. And to them, it was like a playoff game, and they had the higher intensity. You know, even with that being said, we came out and we could have been up 6-2 after the first quarter. We were down 4-2.
It was kind of our typical pre-game environment. Everyone seemed pretty loose, getting some food and us breakfast nice and early, but It was, yeah, for the most part pretty loose. We tried to focus more as we got closer to game time, but I don't know if we were in the right mindset sort of from the get-go. We probably could have been a little more focused and whatnot off the start, but we learn and we'll get better from Going into it, we knew that if we went in and we came and showed up and ready to play, we knew that we could beat that team very easily. Well, not very easily, but we could handle that team. And I think we came out, like you said, initially it was not bad, but we just had a few mental mistakes. I threw the ball away a few times. I know there was just mental mistakes by a lot of people, uncharacteristic things, and it just kind of was a downward spiral. And we had a hard time kind of digging ourselves out of it until around the third quarter was when we started to kind of pull it together a little bit. Thankfully, after the end of the first and second quarter, we weren't down by a tremendous amount. We were still, within reach. But ultimately, we just, that string of time where we didn't play the way we were capable of playing, and we had those mistakes, was our demise.
22. Get back.
Stick that, Dom.
We scored 13 goals against a goalie that made 21 saves. So we were doing a lot of the right things. Coming into the game, probably made a mistake. They have a really good attackman. Kid, I think, finished with 6 goals and 2 assists. Joey Manown, kid going to Duke, and we didn't limit his touches. In the second half, we limited his touches, and I think it made a big difference. And then, we just, every time we made a run, they would go on a 2-goal run, so we can never close it. And then we went to Colin Casey in the goal. He made 2 huge saves, and next thing you know, we're back in the game.
Oh.
No jogging, Sam! Sam, no jogging! Run, Sam! Press, Mike! Run by him! No. Let's go, Nick!
Now one person got a ground ball and matter that. Nope. 15 seconds of ball.
Yeah, Ram! Let's go, Ram! I win.
Oh, come on, Maddie.
He was out of the net. I just threw it in the goal. Nick Perney was like, "Yo, shoot, shoot, shoot!" Like.
Time out! Time out! Time out! Time out! Go, go! Come on! Come on!
And we hit hit a pipe, missed a one-on-one in the last minute. Still, with 8 seconds to go, we had a chance. You know, we gave the ball to Dom St. Laurent after Dylan Hayes won the face-off. They doubled him. They even tripled him. We pushed it. We ran our play. We just didn't execute. So, you know, and I said, you know, losing, you never want to lose. Obviously, we never had that perfect season. Sometimes a perfect season, you know, can be if you're undefeated, maybe you're not playing a tough enough schedule. But I think we are playing a tough enough schedule, so we're trying to challenge ourselves. And, you know, a little bit disappointing. But I said, it's, you know, guys, losing's not the end of the world because you guys didn't quit. It was the first, you know, it was the second time all year we've been down. We were down 5-1 to Lincoln Sudbury. And then they showed a lot of resolve and they came back and at that time, and they came back this time. So it's how you react from that loss.
I think it takes like the weight off our shoulders a little bit. It doesn't really make us have any much pressure of staying undefeated. We kind of just can play our own game, not worry about the big games as much, staying undefeated anymore. Just go in a little looser.
A lot of us kind of knew the undefeated season thing was kind of up in the air, but no one was really saying much about it, kind of like mystique, I guess. No one was going to say anything about it, really, because we didn't want to jinx it. And at the same time, you know, ultimately that's not really, our goal isn't to go undefeated. It's to progress and become the best lacrosse players we can be, and to learn from our mistakes and stuff like that. Do I think it was a reality check for us? I think it was probably good for us. You know, keep us from going into games the way we went into that one. I don't think necessarily we went in thinking we're going to handle these guys. I think we went into it thinking, all right, here we go. We're BG. We got our brand of lacrosse. We're going to play our game, and we're going to take this. And we just didn't come out with the right intensity. We didn't match their intensity off the bat, and I think that was the problem. From that standpoint, I think that game, for me anyway, showed that we need to make sure at the start of every game everyone's there mentally, ready to go, bringing that intensity. Otherwise, you know, anything can happen like you saw on Saturday.
I think Sunday's game was a little redemption. We were all kind of still upset about the day before, so I feel in that sense it was good to get out and kind of get back to where we wanted to be. But also the rest was definitely good once that trip was over. It was a long trip, but I think it benefited us.
The only day we could get it was back-to-back with LaSalle, which we knew wasn't ideal. So instead of staying over, there's just added expenses and added responsibility of staying over. So we just commuted it down and back, you know, just so we had the coach buses. So, you know, I knew the kids would be tired, but, you know, I said to them, it's the losing is not the end of the world, except if it's in the playoffs where, you know, you're losing and you're done. Sometimes when you lose and you all we had was less than 24 hours to get back out in the field, and they did. They got back out there and they played with a little bit of anger. And I was hoping to see some of that today. But when we play, I mean, these kids, they know how good they are. They really do. They're a very talented team. But it's getting them to show up with that same edge and that same attitude consistently.